10 in the Canadian Football League, starting with a bang, and maybe one that we didn't expect, as Edmonton comes out, 22-point lead, and then they let it slip away, and they end up losing 38-29 to Winnipeg. 22nd straight home loss here at Commonwealth for Edmonton. But a bright spot in this football game, and young quarterback Trey Ford getting the start.
Yeah, during the bye, they made two changes. They made Jarius Jackson the offensive coordinator. He got the run game going. Kevin Brown had a big run for a touchdown on the first play, and they changed quarterbacks. They let Trey Ford get a chance to start. You know, he is 1-2 as a starter coming into this game, but he did provide the spark that the Elks have been looking for. You mentioned the big lead. He ran the ball well. He got a rushing touchdown. He had 50 yards rushing and the touchdown. He completed 75% of his passes for just shy of 200 yards and a touchdown pass and an interception. So, you know, I think even though they lost another one, the Elks have been looking to give something to the fan base to get excited about. And, you know, Trey Ford's got a ways to go. And this was his first sort of week and a half with first-team reps. But I think they've got a quarterback here they can get excited about, and let's see if he can develop over the next few weeks.
Taylor Cornelius got a pretty good run as starting quarterback through his inexperience. We'll see what they do with Trey Ford, but it looked like a pretty good debut this season for him. Now, when we talk about inexperienced quarterbacks, we've seen a little bit of Dru Brown along the way, but Zach Collaros leaves this game with an injury while his team is trailing 22-0. Dru Brown comes in and leads them to a victory and really impressed.
He really did. At the very beginning of Dru Brown's time on the field tonight, I looked and thought, let's see if he's going to feel out of place. He's down by 22 points on the road. And, you know, he didn't look out of place early on, but he well exceeded that description because he throws for 17 of 24. That's around 71%. Threw for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. He looked way better than just comfortable. He looked great tonight.
Yeah, certainly looked like he belonged, and that was the second 300-yard passing game of his young CFL career. After the game, he chatted with our TSN's Ryan Rashad.
Well, Drew, an impressive comeback for your team. What did you sense from the group when you were down the way that you were, and what do you think allowed you to get back into that game?
I think that, I mean, this team is obviously like pretty veteran heavy. You know, all these situations, you know, way before my time, they've you know, executed during these moments. And I knew that, you know, it's one of those things, it sounds cliche, but you really do have to kind of one bite at a time, one play at a time. And, you know, you got some ground to make up for, but you can't make it up in one play. So just to continuously preach, you know, as the guys already know, you know, one play at a time and just continue to chip away, you know, because we're a good football team. You know, they were long before I got here. So, you know, I think that being able to come in and have the guys around me that I do, you know, and a great teacher in Zach. I mean, he's been, words can't describe the things that he's done for me in my growth as a player. You know, but I think this team, like I said, has seen so much, and you just got to come in here and try not to mess it up, for real.
You definitely didn't mess it up. You showed great composure, great accuracy. Tough to see the starter go down. How did you feel in that moment going in, and how were you able to calm it down the way you did?
I mean, unfortunately, in this game, you know, it's kind of one of those things that's how you get your opportunity most of the time. You know, it's usually something bad happens to the guy in front of you. It's either he gets benched or, you know, he gets hurt. And you never want it to be like that, you know. I always tell Zach every game, hey, go put it on him so I get to play a little bit in the fourth quarter. But, you know, I think it's preparation. It's being, you know, around a really good staff, some really good players that understand the plan, and that, you know, it's you do this at some point in your career before, you know, like if you've ever played, you've been thrusted into a game, you know, and it's the same thing every time. You just come in and you don't try and do too much. You just be you, and usually things take care of themselves.
Lastly, that catch by Kenny Lawler. I mean, you've thrown a lot of balls. Have you had one caught quite like that?
I honestly didn't even see him catch it. As I threw it, there was kind of someone in the way. I was kind of trying to figure it out.
Did you see a replay? Have you seen it yet?
Haven't seen it
Well,
yet.
you got to get into the locker room and take a look because it was unreal.
I mean, it's funny because, you know, Kenny is one of, I mean, we got 5 guys, 6 guys across the board that can make plays. You know, and that's something that Zach's told me. He's like, you know, it may not look open to you, but you throw it where you anticipate them to be and just give them a chance to make a play. You know, you got one of the most awkward corner balls ever thrown to the field there, and Dembski's able to kind of make a play on it. And all of our guys can do that, and we see it every day. You know, it's pretty special to be a part of this group.
Congrats on the win. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Love you, Mom.
We also interviewed Kenny Lawler right after the game, and he said that was a routine catch for him. And it's starting to become routine for Kenny Lawler to make plays like that, but it was a fantastic catch, and it'll be on the highlight reels. The report on Zach Collaros at halftime was that he wasn't returning. He didn't. He came out in street clothes. But from the outside looking in, it didn't look too bad. It looked like he was okay. It was upper body injury. We'll see over the next couple weeks. 7th
win of the season for Winnipeg. Up next, they take on the Calgary Stampeders. We talked about the home losing streak for Edmonton. They still remain winless on the year. They're 0-9, and they've actually just tied a club record, 13 consecutive losses overall, dating back to last season. They go on the road to Hamilton, and the next chance to finally win one at home will come later in the month against Ottawa.